Houston, we have a problem.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Heliopsychosis podcast. This is your host, Vikka Draziv, guys. Welcome to the show. If you're watching us from YouTube, do comment, like, share, and subscribe. And if you're first time here, do subscribe and share the show. And if you're watching us from realtruthseekers.com, rts.video, yes, realtruthseekers.com is one of our main sponsors for Heliopsychosis and also for the Mechanical Realm documentary, which you can find on the mechanicalrealm.com. So you guys also make sure to check out RTS. And yes, what an awesome show to we have today. Very interesting topic. Especially me and Gene really love this topic. We discussed a lot about this, so hope we can break it down more deeper, right? So, Gene, brother, how are you doing?
Hey, Vika, I'm doing great, brother. This is an excellent topic, bro. Good to be here. Hi, everybody. We don't know where this is going to go exactly because ancient hidden technologies are probably often disguised as lost technologies and partially shown to us through commercials and TV and movies and stuff like that. But some of the most amazing technologies and mysteries are also some of the oldest. It should be an interesting show. So great to be here. Thanks everybody, and have a good show. There's so much we can cover. So
Oh yeah, brother, absolutely. And then we have RTS update. How are you?
How you doing, everybody? Nice to be here with the two of you, with Mr. Gene and the
We hear you
beautiful
very
Vikka.
low, brother. And
Can you hear me
I
now?
okay. So this is the thing. Android is having a bug that it gets an echo because I got a how you say a notification on StreamYard that when someone is from doing from Android, there's a bug now. So that's why I think you can hear an echo. We hear an echo.
Okay,
I
I got a
think
little backup.
can you hear me better now?
yeah yeah. Try to speak more. Yeah
Okay,
yeah.
it's better now. I hope.
Okay.
A little better, yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, and this is all because they try to do updates for apps and programs and software that they don't need any updates, but they're always messing around with stuff unnecessary. Oh, yep. And I was saying, yeah, nice to be here with the two of you, Mr. Gene, Director Bika, and we have great news for everyone listening, and surprises for all the cast and director Vika. Uh, Great news about the documentary, and good things going on. So you guys let me know when you're ready, so I can let you know about them.
That's exciting.
Oh yeah, brother, go ahead. We can start with that. Totally,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. Well, I was just like just a second ago with Marcia David, the founder, and he just told the developer team that the we have a deadline for the the remaster of the Mechanical Realm. It'll be ready in 30 days, and it will be promoted. It's going to be promoted on the TMR site. So, because we spent a lot of time and effort creating that site, and we had a few issues with the hosting company because they were trying like to charge us more money because of how many so many visitors we are getting. And even if we moved the site to one of the two servers we just received, I don't know if you guys remembered, I gave you the news about Marcia, the founder, getting two servers for RTS. Even if we do that, we already signed a 12-month lease agreement with the hosting company, so we can't move the site. We still have to pay for it. So this everything is going to be done. We already talked to Google Play Store, so everything is going to be done through them. The payment, people can buy uh, the upcoming remastered of the documentary through Play Store. They can pay with their phone immediately, and right away, a second after, they can start downloading the documentary. So they can watch it there in their phones or their tablets or their Chromecast laptops, or stream it to their television through Android. And it's a really good news. The good thing about the remastered, it's that it's going to be in full color, and the audio sync will be fixed, and because we the original documentary had a few issues with that, and that's the good news. So starting tomorrow, you might see a few updates on the TMR site promoting uh, the um, the remastered. Oh, and another thing, because the first thing around, I think this is what I understood from the orders we received from the founder. The the first documentary, everything, the ticket sales and everything is going to upcoming projects director Bika has in mind already. The um, the remastered, I'm always forgetting that word. I don't know why. The remastered sales is going to be split between 50% to pay for all the things that we need to pay to the hosting company, because they wanted to charge us, I think this month was around 200 euros, because we're getting over 1,000 visitors every day, 1.5 million right now on the TMR site. And that's 50% of the sales is going to go to pay for everything, the 2, 3, 400 euros they want to charge us every month. And the other 50% of the ticket sales will go directly to the cast. Marshall David, the founder, already said that he wants to support the cast, and now it's time also for them to collect. So 50% of the sales of the tickets will go to all the cast and the rest is going to be used to pay for and maintain the TMR site. So that's really good news. And another good news is Marshall David, the founder, already gave orders to honor all the people, all the thousands of people who already bought their ticket from the first version of the documentary currently running. He gave orders to honor all those sales. So everyone is going to be able to watch the people who already paid. Like we had a few awesome sales of tickets today. So everyone is going to be able to watch the remastered without any extra charge at all. Those are the good news, guys. What do you think?
Oh yeah, brother, absolutely. Yes. We've been working on this from past a couple of weeks to see what could be done, and yes, absolutely positive decision, right?
Yeah, yeah. The idea is to spread the word, to spread the truth, and there were a few issues from my point of view because I'm a developer and I have knowledge of equipment, and I think the issues with the audio sync uh, came because of the equipment that it was used. Maybe there was a glitch, a bug, and that's the reason why it happened. So we are gonna fix that. Uh, Director Bika already sent and gave to Marshall David, the founder, um, all the material needed from the cast to do Marshall David is gonna do it in a month. He already said he already put a deadline in a month. The remaster will be ready, and I mean it's a really good thing because now also if the cast will help us because this is something good and something bad with the sales of the remastered version upcoming. Even it's going to be more easy for everybody just to go to Play Store or from the same TMR site, just click buy and Play Store will pop up and charge automatically and make you download the remastered version directly from Play Store itself. Uh, Even if that is more easy for the buyer, for the people, it's also a really good thing. The Marshall David, the founder, will honor all the people who already bought the first ticket the first time around. But it also is going to hurt the sales because those are a bunch of people who are not going to buy the new version anymore. So that's the reason why we need the support of the cast, Mr. Gene, Mr. Keith, everyone involved to push it, to promote it online, so we can. The more sales we get, the more money is gonna be there to split and share around with the cast.
Oh yeah, brother, we all absolutely, like, everybody who already supported it, they already have the right to download this version when it's available or the remastered version, right? So all good, and yeah, it's all whoever supported is for us to continue doing our next projects, right? It's all about that. So absolutely big shout out to RTS update, the whole team, and of course Marcio David, the founder. Yep. So we jump in with our topic today. Yep. Hidden technologies. Why are we discussing this topic today? Because it definitely is connected with the documentary, right? Also, in every aspect, and all the podcasts we've been doing from past few weeks all are related some way or the other to the documentary, right? Till the remaster or the free version is available also. So unlocking the secrets of ancient hidden technologies, right? In the shadows of antiquity lies traces of advanced technologies, tantalizing fragments that challenge our understanding of the past. From navigation tools to timekeeping devices and even enigmatic energy harvesting technologies, these artifacts, made from an array of material, could be from the basic stuff like clay, wood, bone, brass, metal, concrete, whatever it could be, hints at the depth of ancient knowledge and capabilities that has eluded our historical narrative, right? We always speak about that the history is being manipulated, right? If they could say that the Greeks thought of the world being around, because if they are the one who wrote the history, they could write it any way they want, right? As we mentioned, also they could say that the Greeks thought that the earth was a square if they wanted to. So the same thing goes even for the technologies. And especially this podcast was because Keith wrote tagged me the other day in a post about a small gadget. Like it's like almost like a size of a keychain or something, or a coin with a keychain, and it just opens it up and it's like flips open with an arrow in the middle, and it converts into a sundial with telling time, and even something with the stars or the dates. That thing is not even around in 2 inches in diameter, and it has so much of information or the use functions it has. And the question Keith had was like, from which time era is this, and from where is it? Like, so this kind of devices, like the last time they were using these kind of devices was in old time in Europe, because in Europe there was influence of the Greeks, of the Romans, of the Arabs, of the all different people had their influence here in these parts of Europe. So all these technologies was used and then hidden from us. We are speaking about a ring which is like a sundial. It's not only a sundial, it has many more functions. We are speaking about a square piece of, like a flip phone, but made of bone with a wire in the middle, and it's telling you the time, it's telling you the date, everything. Smaller than the size of a flip phone, made of bone. You open it up and you just look near the sun or whatever during the night to the stars, and it's telling you so many details. So, how many other stuff like this which have not reached us? There have to be tons of them.
Right, and the narrative will just kind of glance over things too, that because they're out there in history that have been written about. Not much leads up to these things, though. There's no history before them. These things just kind of like show up all of a sudden with no previous history to it, and then it was like this lost gadget that they don't use anymore. And isn't that funny though? That what were they looking at? They were pointing out the star system for some reason. So many of that, and there's so much of that going on. All these ancient cultures looking at the stars, looking at the planets, following the moon and sun over and over.
Exactly, and the best part is the size of these devices is so small, it's so miniature, and it's so precise. It's crazy.
Right? After how long? We don't even know because some of them they just like, oh well, we don't know. So how are we supposed to know as a culture trying to find out what's really going on? It's hard for us.
Exactly.
That's because everything is back then. Everything had to be precise because everything was mechanical. So they had to use loops or something to
Analog,
produce.
like everything was analog, right?
Yep.
Everything was moved, and it's the best part. Everything was so physical and analog. Like this device I'm speaking about this bone, about like a size of a flip phone. This one you could find on this show they had, where it's called Pawn Star, where they pawn things and they pay you. It's a very famous. So one guy bought this kind of device there, and you were like, where? And they were like speaking about this device, and the guy, the expert, is telling him about the device. um,
Everything old is 1,000 times better than anything from this era, from today's era, because it lasts forever. Because
Yeah,
everything
right.
was analog, mechanical. It had to be precise. So you have to use like those things like the people who fix watches and or do diamonds work on rings, like a microscope, but they call it something else. So everything had to be
Horologist,
like,
right? Yeah,
yep,
horologist.
yep. So they had to do everything really precise. That's why that device you mentioned from Keith is so small, because they were able to do those things that small, so precise, because everything was mechanical. Now I know everybody nowadays call it like hidden technology. On RTS, I have seen a few videos, and I like this other description better. It's like refurbished. It's refurbished technology. That's what we have today. It's old technology trying to pass it as new, and it's all from the old days. Especially everything,
Exactly.
anything to do with electricity comes from the old days.
Exactly. And the digitalizing it, right? Everything is just digitalized from the analog, it being from the computers or all these ancient devices. And hidden is because some things have reached us because the importance of their function is required for us to survive. That's why these kind of devices have reached us, even if they have tried to hide, right? But there have to be many other technologies that didn't reach us, right? Even seeing those, the ones which reached us, is like we are so like amazed by how these things work, right? We are speaking also about calendars, like simple circles made of metals, and you just move around like a dial, and it's like telling you 50, 60, 100 years ahead, which day, which month, which on where it's gonna be, everything, right? Too simple stuff, right? You guys remember that calendars, like a keychain calendars?
Yeah,
It's true with dozens of different alignments and places to align different things. Is like countless different combinations you can figure out.
today's even watches today, from this time around. Uh, if you open a watch that is not digital, so-called digital, with uh, crap made from computers. No, I'm talking about real watches. If
Analog.
you open, exactly, it's so and that's so precise. That came
Hmm.
from the old days. It's not something they invented 10, 20 years ago. We haven't done nothing for the last 50 years. Everything is refurbished technology.
Very true. So you got to wonder what else even before that was just refurbished also, right? We probably brought up here once or twice that even the amazing technology of I could send you guys a picture right now without disrupting this live, and it goes right to any 10 different spots in the world immediately. And that technology is in our phone, but that could be technologies that we already used to have. That they and then they, like I said, they reverse engineer them and hand us these cheap copies and call it amazing technology just because we're not familiar with it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and this is the thing, that there's common stuff that we all know about, like for example, the compass, the sextant, the astrolabes, right? These things we know that it only works on a flat and stationary Earth. Like with the compass, like from locating yourself to the sextant for the navigators, and the astrolabe. The astrolabe is uh, uh, brother RTS updates. When you're not speaking, could you uh, mute your mic because we get an echo?
Sorry about that.
It's the bug, brother. It's not you, brother. It's the bug. Cool. So astrolabes, a real good astrolabe can cost you around few thousands of dollars. Like even this age, really high quality, made of bronze or brass. That in itself, it's art combined with technology, and it's literally telling you the whole celestial, what's happening, what's there, right? So these kind of devices. Then we also have the sundials that we spoke about, the real ones made out of clays and stone to the rings, or the ones which are made of metals. And there are many other variations of this. And then there are the calendars, and then also, as RTS update mentioned, the watches. Go ahead, RTS update. You want to add something, brother?
Well, yeah, I was gonna add that I don't know if I made this comment like two streams ago about this 1775 uh, King James Bible from the year 1775, just 200 years ago, not thousands and thousands like they always pull those numbers out of their behinds, I guess. So this Bible has so much history. It shows that in fact in 1775 we had a 13-month calendar. It also shows um, the Sunday it was the first day of the week, not Monday. And also it comes with a map. And if this is correct, this is crazy. They switched the poles, like the north is south and the south is north. So I mean, there are a lot of things that they need to be investigated for real, because everything everything for the last 200 years it's upside down. And this reset they're trying to pull on us today, they already did it like 150 years ago. That's how they were able to hide the technology. That's why there's no background, there's no history, there's nothing about what we use today nowadays. So
Brother, these churches or these cathedrals, they were in reality itself, they were technologies. They were no spiritual places. If you really look at these structures, including the cathedrals, it looks more like a machine, a temple. If you see the different kinds there is, and the functions they had, and then also the frequencies and things they used to work on.
Yeah, yeah. You mean the big cathedrals the Catholic Church has around Earth? Yeah, they look like the stolen buildings from other era. No one can replicate those nowadays. So it's like they found them and then they just use it for something else. And there's also a lot of thing going on about Tartaria, like the new Hitler um, trailer promo for an upcoming documentary for next year. He put
Yeah,
it out
old
like two
world.
months ago. Yeah, there is a lot of old pictures from the 1900s with people in electric scooters in black and white pictures.
There's
Like
videos of
that's
that
crazy.
also.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
This Mr. Jane, this big balloons. What are they called? The big balloons where
Oh,
people used
the
to ride.
airships,
Yeah,
like the
yeah, those,
dirigibles and the zeppelins, the blimps.
those, the
Yeah,
zeppelins. Yeah, all those things. People used to travel around those. What happened to
sure.
them?
Well,
What
you know
happened
what
to them?
happened? They did things like the Hindenburg to make it look dangerous. They had a helium shortage that was manufactured, and and they wanted to usher in the gas powered airplane to sell petroleum.
Unbelievable.
Now I don't know if that's 100% fact, but that sure seems to be leading towards that type of conclusion.
Oh yeah,
No, but
this is the thing. This is the thing. Yeah, yeah. The plane that they want to bring in the combustion. They want to bring in the petrol. So
Yeah.
in that aspect, they hide this also from us. This technology about the zeppelins and all this stuff. Imagine what else kind of aerial technology they could possess, because the ancient speaks about many different flying crafts. Okay, and many people during all the ages of time have seen many different strange things flying, right?
Mm.
And we also spoke about the magnetism and how it works with those possible possibly could be working with those vimanas, because these Vedic scriptures, there's only one whole stuff about the vimanas. We speak about all different ways of flying technology. It's not only about the planes or the combustion or the aerodynamics, right?
no, and there is. Let's not go that far. Let's just like this year. There was a TikTok video that it got wiped out from the internet faster than the hard drive from Hunter's laptop. It's deleted now. You cannot find it anywhere. Even I was so stupid not to download it and keep it. There's a video of this car from Elon Musk, Tesla. Tesla. Um, this guy did something with he added something to the back wheel, something analog. So every time the car the wheels run automatically free, it charges the car itself, and sometimes will not even need the battery to run because it's running with some things this guy added. Well, guess what? There's still shots on YouTube from YouTubers, big YouTubers with millions of followers, saying that it's not real, that you cannot do it. But they will not show the video. They will show like one or two stills from the video. Like it's unbelievable, and these people get promoted to promote the lie, and people like us, uh, uh, um, we get this extreme shadow ban talking about the truth, about history. We're not even we're not even thinking or saying, hey, what do you think? It might be because of this, or it might be because of the other. No, no, no. We are quoting history, and we get shadow banned. But people who promote the lies, I mean, in this place, they get like promoted and recommended and trend and whatever.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what, guys? RTS is going to put an end to all of
From Mr. Jim, from your mouth to God's ear.
that.
Oh yeah,
Seriously.
and also the aerostat technology, right? They they could have had, and they could have stuff with that kind of technology also for transportation, for aerial movement. Like even the drone technology we have today, it's already outdated for them. Like uh, or autonomous. Yeah, this all for us sounds like sounds fiction, right? When we see the timeline we have and the timeline we have lived, for us this is because they have been pushing this as a future, right? So what
Yeah.
else could be continuing that? Like a transhumanism could be a part of it too, right? Incorporating all this stuff because everything is getting so nano.
But I don't really believe that. All that is fake. It's a big lie. It's a big con. Just to put fear on everyone. The AI, all those things, and it's a lie. It's a lie. Lara Logan. She's a really one of the best journalists in my point of view. She was just saying like like a couple days ago, a few days ago, she was, and she's not a geek, she's not a developer, but she's catching on. People is catching on. Like, okay, this AI thing that is gonna take over the earth and control us and this and that. Um, it's all fake. Who writes the code? It doesn't write the code itself. There's people, real people writing the code. It's a software. They're just trying to scare us. The real thing is the
Yeah,
human
brother, but the
intelligence.
but the point is that they want to manipulate with that. Whoever writes the code or whoever makes that program function, whoever control other controllers, they want a product which functions and that they can use, because even the AI we know that is programmable. Everything is totally programmable. But if it is of that high quality stuff that is working to control the masses, because when we speak about how these AIs are helping to control all of us to the controllers, because we speak about, you think about a product and you are seeing that product, right? We're speaking about it's reached so far. The connection of waves and different ways and thought that these devices can pick up, and the way it can control you or manipulate you or give you what, show you some direction whichever they want to, or they can control our emotions or our state of being through this kind of devices. They are not doing that literally individually watching each and every one of us. All that's been done by AI, right? Your personal AI in your device is controlling you totally, right? Whoever is doing that, it's working for them, right? And this already in the future, it's so high, so advanced that we cannot even imagine that what it's doing, because whatever is this remote controlling or whatever the new technology, all the digital is coming, it's all gonna incorporate this AI. In a way, it's all AI, all the things related, all the quantum computer itself works as an AI, right?
It's like this company Apple, the so-called Alexa, the AI thing they sell to everyone. They got caught in a lie. It's not real, a real AI. They had to confess that the reason why they record your voice or your conversations without your permission, they had to confess that they were doing that, was because they were all those recordings of your those audios were uploaded to some section of Apple's company where they have the, for real. This is not a joke. About 1,000 people sitting on a desk writing the answers in the conversations they hear in the audio, writing it into the code of Alexa. That's not an AI. If you need 1,000 people to write every answer on this earth, that's not an AI. That's fake.
Yeah, yeah, brother. What about Chat GDP, right? Chat GDP, they had to put in information for it to start function. Nothing just function, needs to be created first as an application in the beta, that it can work in the alpha, right? Once it's functioning, it has its own life in itself, because it has a task that it needs to do, could be a particular task, right? But this is the thing, we are speaking about not 200, not 300, not 500 years. We are speaking about a couple of thousands of years of hidden history and technology. Okay, if we are speaking about gears being used 2000 years ago, and it's all erased out, where could have been if we are in 100 years from industrial age to a digital age we are in right now, right? So where could the human race would have been in 2000 years? So even our mind, as I said, even our mind cannot be imagine things that could exist technology wise, because technology is not only about gadgets, right? Or something electric, or we spoke about devices, all these devices. Then there are other technologies, like we spoke about the aerial technology. Then we have the architectural technologies. Then we have the medicinal technologies and surgeries and all kind. There's so many different layers to that metallurgies, right? uh,
Everything.
Transforming stone, right? It just goes on and on, and in everything, in each of these sections there are layers, there are hundreds of other stuff that which helps in that particular science. So it's not only what they have hidden to us in this kind of aspect, because in every way we look for us to evolve as humanity, for better for us, as in all these ways, it just blocks us in many ways. So all this genetic engineering, what they speak about, where have it already must have advanced, or could, like, crazy stuff.
Well, I don't believe that these technologies that are supposedly lost are lost at all. I think there's kind of a breakaway society that has them somewhere. You can't have these things with no, build up, no, nothing, rudimentary towards them. No, no previous history, just these things, and they're all over the place too. We can talk about the structures in stone, the clay tablets, to artwork. It's just embedded throughout society, right? The placement of these buildings, like say, Vika, these buildings were technologies. They had the kymatics were built into this stone, and with the pipe organs and the bells going through those designs, it just amplified things to healing properties for for the wellness of the communities. And that's why they took the sound and they distorted it to something that doesn't work as well for us. It's actually detrimental to us. So 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 sound is ancient technology that's been hidden from us, right? Right there alone, I think.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. The relating to the sound, it's like I think it's called geopolymer technology, like
Mm,
transforming to manipulate stones with sound.
right? And just even levitation. To quarry and move, transport, and fit to the precision of things like the big pyramids and like the trilithon and Baalbek, the stones there, and just countless places all over the place that have those huge megalithic stonework with precision. And then you get some of them, like you're saying, Vika, with some stones with 13 sides that fit 5 different blocks flawlessly perfect. It does look like they were sort of vibrated into place and melted to fit somehow without heat marks, without and that's another technology. Fire is a technology. It's all technology, guys.
Oh yeah, the cuts are like laser cuts, brother. Some of this stuff
Yeah.
you
No
see, you
tool
freak out.
marks, right? Yeah, and I haven't even seen them, but and I've done a little stonework. I'm not a mason by any means, but the stone is it's not very forgiving. It's not easy to work, and but it could be user friendly. I built a couple little walls here and there with, and I try to let the stone talk to me, and I don't like to use too many tools when I do stuff like that. Or I try not to, and I got some nice fits just flipping rocks around without using hammer and chisel, but nothing like what they used to do. Not anything like that. I'm talking about rough stone on a garden wall. And, we talk about art. The pigments, and they did X-rays on the Mona Lisa from Da Vinci in the 1500s, and the pigments were so small, they're like 50 times smaller than any of the best pigments that we get today. So the painting might not be technology, but the paint used for it needed technology that's beyond our understanding today.
Oh yeah, brother, and even the understanding of the chemistry or the botany or the biology of the earth is also technology, because if you these plants are also technology, they feed us, they heal us, they shelter us, and
Well,
many other things they do, right? So of we know about, but there are many things we don't know about, right?
right. Oh yeah, that's the thing. The thing, and then they'll go cut down forests the size of Connecticut in Argentina and Brazil to go find a leaf to reproduce it in a lab. That's something that bothered me like since I'm a little kid. Like, why don't they just grow the plants and have the old remedies for us? I don't understand this. Now I think I understand a
Right,
little better.
right.
It's just yeah, it's just sorcery now. I didn't really understand that.
Now, like the medicines, like today's medicines,
Yeah,
we get from the pharmacy. Everything is fake chemicals that at the long run it will hurt our body. They're
right.
supposed to be imitations from the real deal. What's the real deal? Plants. Then why don't we eat the plants instead? Stupid people.
Well, it's the miseducation, the Rockefeller indoctrination system,
And when I
and
say stupid people, I'm counting myself in those people. I'm just opening my eyes now. I
yeah,
have
I'm
been
with you.
poisoned all my life.
Oh yeah, brother, this is the real food and real medicine that's in the nature. What we all are eating all around from the supermarket or whatever, it's all that's the situation. So the real medicine and food is free, like literally. All we all call them weed or all around, wild.
It's l- it's like
It's
eating meat.
nothing wild. Yeah.
Like they tell you. I mean, I'm still eating meat. It's hard for me to just drop it or leave it behind. And I'm not suggesting for other people to do it. It depends on each individual. But um, with the meat, the excuse is you have to eat meat because of the iron. You need the iron from the meat. Okay, from what part of nature you can get 70% more of iron instead of eating meat? From
Spinach.
cocoa, chocolate, the real
Uh,
bean, not the
Yeah, or
one we
beans or
yeah,
yeah.
not the Snickers we buy from the store, that garbage with chemicals. No, no, the real cocoa, the real chocolate beans. So it's like everything is upside down.
well, here's the thing, though. You know what I'm pretty convinced is going on is that the food companies are owned by the pharmaceuticals
Yep.
in a nutshell. So even look at the healthy stuff and supplements is all owned by pharma, all of it.
The
Seed
thing is,
companies.
yeah, the people
Mhm.
want to take artificial stuff, be it vitamins or any nutrients or whatever. They want to take artificial stuff, like as but as RTO as update was mentioning before, natural plants, right? So what it helps us is our immune system has a way of receiving these nutrients in a natural way. So if you're putting it in an artificial way, it's not gonna really absorb those nutrients, right? So what is all this processing is done is like made the everything that we eat, even in the vegetables, they're manipulated so much that it's artificial. So the same thing goes for the medicines. Every kind of medicines, they have synthesized it. They have it's not having that essence of to cure, right? That's why it just makes you temporary relief. It doesn't cure anything from the roots. The natural stuff takes time to affect, but it takes out the problem from the roots, right? The nature is very wise. Everything that exists or any disease could exist, the nature have it for us. It shows us in its colors, it shows us in its forms, it shows us in its timing, it shows us in every way for us to be live in harmony by eating it when it's naturally its season of everything, right? And the same goes for the medicine stuff also. The same goes for the weeds and the wild medicines that exist, which we call weeds or plants, uh, wild plants, but these all have medicinal properties, being it from the natural stuff to the from the kitchen herbs to has like different ways of properties of by like having your system clean, right? So all these type of stuff would have more to it that these people have already are more advanced in this, right? Or they have other kind of species that can literally teletransport you, right, to another.
If I could like change the subject a little bit, so and then
Yeah,
go
go
back
ahead,
to
go
the
ahead,
same.
bro.
Okay, so once again, um, uh, here comes my same speech. I want to give a big shout out and a big thanks to Marshall David, the founder, for giving me this opportunity, inviting me to this ride of his, and he's a great boss and the best brother I could I could ever have. um, and he's the best. And one thing that I'm bringing this up is because I will, it hit me back what I just said about being shadow banned and the other liars getting promoted in this place. uh, Mr. Big, this goes, I guess, more to to Director Bika, and then to Gene and the rest of the cast. We have this awesome place, the TMR site, stunning place, came out really professional, and for this stream from today, it's been 3 streams now since the live stream for the TMR site is ready. It hasn't been used, and we get shadow banned on TMR site. We are getting the worst day, the very worst day of the week. We get about 1,500 visitors in a day, 1,500 visitors. And other days, 5,000, 10,000 in a day. We have a million a million and a half, 1,500,000 visitors total in 30 days. So why are not streaming from that place? If the idea is to uh, promote the truth, and also at the same time, we can sell tickets there too. And the live stream works the same way StreamYard works with YouTube. You connect the StreamYard to the TMR site, and bingo, we are running the same way at the same time. Now, if Marshall David, the founder, just told me that because if Director Bika, for some reason I really don't understand, to be honest, and I'm sorry if it sounds like a complaint, but if Director Bika cannot stream for, he has his own reasons. Marshall David, the founder, was telling me that maybe Mr. Jean, Mr. Keith, or anybody from the cast can take over from the live stream and start another version of the stream directly from the TMR site. That we are getting, again, the worst day of the week, 1,500 people. Best day of the week, 10,000 visitors, a million and a half visitors already in 30 days. So I think it's a really missed opportunity. One, to spread the truth, and second, to promote the documentary. Because here in this place, I mean, we are just getting shadow ban again.
Oh yeah, brother. Even Facebook is the same thing. They try to shadow ban us most of the time, and also we have glitches in the matrix too, right? The Gene, remember? Hey,
Oh yeah, little hiccups here and there.
Keith, how are you, brother?
Hey, Vika, doing real good. Good to be with you guys again. I'm just coming in from a bonfire. I had a flat Earth friend come down from North Carolina, and we were just sitting out there talking about things. And then all of a sudden, I realized the podcast. So here I am. Good to be with you guys. How's everything? What you been talking about?
Awesome. Yeah, the topic was about, as I mentioned during the beginning of the show, that you tagged me in that post about that gadget, right? And I was explaining about the hidden technology or lost technology. These kind of devices are kind of lost technology, which like show up from here and there. Just imagine the sizes, how small these stuff are, and how compact, how functional they are, all right? And how many other stuff that didn't make it to us.
Yeah, I imagine there's hundreds more devices like maybe like the anti-Kithra mechanism or like that little device that I tagged you in. stuff that has certainly been hidden from us. And I think it's part of our job to find it and bring it out and put the light on it so people can see it.
Exactly, and many other stuff made of bone, made of clay, made of wood, metal, brass. The best part about this stuff, including the compass, astrolabe, sextant, the best part is they all just work on a flat and stationary Earth. All these devices, and including the antikythera mechanism, all functions only on a flat and geostationary Earth. And all the new technology, what they speak about, the radar systems, everything that is there in the flatten the curve, right? Only work on a flat and stationary Earth. So all the technologies, including everything that you use for navigation and communication and transportation, even today, all of it only works. That's the
Even
best part about all. Yeah, go ahead.
even the documents that support these devices all state that these are all to assume a stationary, non-rotating, flat Earth, and to act and assume as if that's where you're navigating upon.
Exactly. So the flatten the curve is all about all these devices used in the present, like all these latest technologies used. And the mechanical realm is about this ancient device and everything related to these ancient devices and history, which also works on a flat and stationary Earth.
Right, guys? It's going to show and point out in many different ways that none of the stars have ever changed their position. They move around, but they all reset. And for something to reset and repeat itself, that shows sign of an intelligent design, not a random accident.
Oh, yeah.
As I've been sharing more about the new documentary, The Mechanical Realm, the last couple weeks, it's just become more and more obvious how important the subject of cycles is and how everything in the sky works on cycles, whether it's 18 and a half years or 19 years exactly, whatever it is, it's a cycle and it repeats itself. And all the ancients knew how it worked down to the day, down to the hour, and this antikythera mechanism proves it. But even in our research that we were doing 7-8 months ago getting ready for this documentary, it wasn't so obvious to me then as it has been now, as I've been talking about it more, of how important this subject is of cycles and how devastating it is to the globe model. Once this information comes out more publicly that everything in the sky works on cycles, and we prove it so emphatically in this documentary, it's going to make a big difference in the entire flat Earth movement.
Oh yeah, brother, it's a process, right? When we started this project, it's a process and we are processing everything and more things are going to become coming out and becoming more solid, right? And as you say, as you mentioned about these cycles, and we did the podcast last week about those cycles, about those great cycles, and some goes in thousands of years, right? And they have their own way of controlling it and they know it's going to repeat it, right?
And then
So
there's cycles in cycles within cycles, and some of them are just hours apart from each other. Within 20 years, they're just a couple hours away from each other in a separate cycle, totally separate. It's really cool. It's amazing. And to think how much, we've been studying this for, around a year, we'll say, and And I don't think I scratched the surface of understanding it. So it's just mind-boggling to think that these guys were able to reproduce something that represented it so accurately. That just really blows me away. The trial and error, the notes they took, the calculations, the like to understand that the moon speeds up and slows down, and then reproduce it is pretty cool. Like super, really, really cool, actually.
Oh yeah, this could have been passed down technology from all these cultures together.
Yeah. How many people were involved with keeping those records?
Yeah, and the concept of time maybe is totally different, right, for other beings, because the concept of other beings much more evolved
Hmm.
than us, right?
Well, if we could just build an anti-Kithra mechanism, we could go back in time and meet all those people and figure out how they did it, according to Indiana Jones, anyway. It's funny, I bring that movie up to some people and like, no, I didn't see it. Like, as much money as Disney spent to make that movie and put out a false narrative about the anti-Kithra mechanism, I don't think very many people saw it. At least not in my conversations. I'm finding very few people who actually saw that movie.
Same here.
Yeah,
Wasn't
but
very popular.
why many people didn't see the movie? They love the Indiana Jones, most of all of the Indiana Jones, right? But this one was really bad, right?
Well, I mean, for some people, that's coming to the knowledge of all these transgender actors and the males playing the females and vice versa. I know some people are just turned off by that. They don't want to go see a woman who is a man trying to be a woman on screen, and it just, I mean, for some of us, it's a turn off, and it was for me too. But I mean, the Hollywood has lost its glimmer. It's lost its shine for a lot of people. I mean, I know a lot of people still worship those people and they follow them around like sheep. But I think for society as a whole, especially as flat Earth grows, stuff that used to be impressive is just not impressive anymore.
Oh yeah, and this is the thing, they wanna gatekeep the information about this mechanism. That's why they come up with this bullshit
Yeah.
movie about the dial of destiny, because they are totally diverting the people attention to what it is, to what it is not, right?
Well, I think that's why they made it the way they made it. They didn't put much money into it. They didn't really seem to give much effort into pushing it as a big blockbuster. They can make anything a blockbuster if they want it, right? All they got to do is advertise it and push it, and people will flock to go see whatever they want. So I think they just kind of put it out there with this story behind it that didn't make much sense, just to get it out there. Just like they have to. They have to put this stuff out there for some reason, it seems.
Oh yeah, because it's gonna be too obvious if they don't, right?
Maybe. There's been a lot of buzz in the past year or so about it. Maybe not mainstream widespread, but it's touched mainstream like Joe Rogan and the History Channel for sure. I heard about Antikythera like probably 25 years ago on the Science Channel, and it was good. And they didn't really say too much about it, just left it as a mystery. I wish it would have clicked more, but it didn't. It was like, oh yeah, a bunch of gears. Now it's just like, wow, wait a second.
Oh yeah, now the people will know, yeah, what it is. Now it's not, they don't understand. The scientists the academics are gonna continue. We don't know what it is. Oh
Right,
yeah, you want to know what it is? Go watch the Mechanical Realm, right?
really. Yeah, because you know what, guys, we're not gonna pull any punches. If anything, There could be possibly a part two with the stuff that we're coming up with after everything was submitted and given to Vika and Marcio, right? I mean, we had to have some sort of limit on what we could do just to get it out. But this will be a never-ending kind of pursuit. Well, I hate to say never-ending, but it could be an ongoing pursuit in this one subject alone.
I was
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
about something yesterday while I was driving, and I actually made one of my little monologue videos of it, but I didn't post it because I want to take the thought and develop it further. But I was just thinking of the idea of a clockwork Earth and how things move in the sky over us. And if you think of an analog clock, and if you lay it flat, and this is just me talking through this, I haven't developed this yet, but I will. Just as a good illustration for flat Earth versus the heliocentric. But if you take an analog clock off the wall, lay it flat, and you look at the numbers 1 through 12 and think of that as the Earth going around the sun, and the center of the clock is the sun. And then you change that and look at the clock now as the flat Earth, and the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That is the sun going over the surface of the flat Earth. Well, as we know, on the flat Earth, everything works. The time zones work, the seasons work, all of it works. So it's like this Antikythera mechanism has gotten me, as someone was just saying, Gene or Vico, that this is an ongoing pursuit. I mean, we could do the mechanical realm 2 and the mechanical realm 3 and keep developing this whole idea of a clockwork Earth that we live inside of. And there's some really good comparisons that I'm starting to learn and see myself as I'm thinking about these things, of a clock and how it would work on the heliocentric model of us going around the sun versus us being flat and stationary and the sun going around us over the surface of us. So I'm going to develop something on the clockwork Earth. I'll do some kind of video about that soon. If or when I ever write a book, that'll definitely be a chapter in there about it. But yeah, we still have a lot to learn. I mean, we learned a lot doing this documentary, but we still have a lot to learn.
Yeah, the clock is a good analogy, Keith. It's almost perfect, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because in some of the maps you can see around the map in the smaller side corners, it shows how the sun moves, and if you see literally, it's like the clock too. I don't know if it's the Mercator or one of the maps. Uh,
No, it's the Gleasons. Even the patent
yeah,
Gleason
yeah,
talks about it's a time calculating device.
exactly. So
Let me ask you something. Is that a way to explain how the sun can be in a different position from center and still move at the same rate of speed? Cover a different amount of ground?
Yeah, I there's one way I heard David Weiss say it that it made some sense to me, that if somebody is standing, let's say that you're standing at the center of the clock and you have a light, let's say the sun is a projection, and you're shining the light, where the Tropic of Cancer would be in the north, and you're spinning at the same speed, but then you shine that same light out over the Tropic of Capricorn in the south, and even though you're in the middle spinning at the same speed, the light out there in the south is going to be traveling faster. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good question, but that's easily explained with the clock analogy as well.
Right. And that's a good one that needs to be explained too, I think. Because a big difference between
oh yeah,
summer
we
and winter.
oh yeah, the equinoxes and the solstice is also there. It's geometry, right? So
And the figure 8 yearly analemma also proves that we're not floating around in outer space.
Yeah, it was in our research for this documentary that I had also, come to the knowledge, which just seems like common knowledge now, but I didn't know this 6 months ago or a year ago, that the moon, and we did this, or I learned this when we were doing the research for the documentary, talking about the variable speed of the moon, that the moon speeds up and slows down in its path through the sky once a month. And then I started thinking about it and looking at it. I started looking at pictures of the moon's analemma and realizing that, man, the sun takes a whole year to go from the Tropic of Cancer out to the Tropic of Capricorn and then back, and the moon does that every single month. So, I mean, that's just more, knowledge, more understanding of this system or this clock that we live inside of.
Oh yeah, and the moon phases and how it happens also in a of
Yeah.
that geometry.
Yeah, the moon phases, I mess with globe trolls on that all the time. I say, please explain to me why the moon phases don't reverse every 6 months. And they have no clue what I'm talking about. I'm like, well, if the Earth and moon are on the opposite side of the sun's coming from, or the light's coming from the opposite direction, then the moon phases have to reverse every 6 months or so. And why during this moon phase today or tonight, why does that moon stay exactly the same all day long? It doesn't change at all throughout the day.
Terminator line.
Yeah, if it were, what the heliocentric hypothesis says, then we would see that moon phase slowly changing throughout the day, and we don't.
Right. You'd see a half moon go
Exactly.
either waxing or waning. It would either get a little smaller or a little bigger.
Right.
And it does not change. You never see the transition between phases.
Nope.
Oh yeah, an analog planetarium, right?
Mhm. Giant.
So that's what the digital ones are doing right now, and this is what it used to do in a mechanical way. Telling you exactly what is the cosmos, right? Oh,
Well,
all right.
getting
Yeah,
back,
go ahead.
I was going to say, getting back to the subject of tonight's of the lost or hidden technologies. The funny thing about that movie with Indiana Jones and them going back in time with the mechanism and seeing Archimedes and meeting him, and even in the Christian world today, is like when people think about people 2,000 years ago, they're still thinking of them as like modern day humans, primitive, 6 feet tall, very limited knowledge and such, and that's so even that movie is promoting that false history of people being, shepherds out in the field watching a
Yeah, right.
star appear in the sky or something. And in reality, if they created something like the Antikythera mechanism, they had far more knowledge than most people today. And in my opinion, they were probably far larger. I mean, somebody built these huge buildings and huge doors and made these huge books and made these huge weapons that we see all over the place. And yeah, did y'all see that one? I forget what military branch it was. I think it was somebody in the UK, and they had did this raid and they found this crown, and this crown is huge on this soldier's head. Like that crown had to fit on somebody that was 15 or 20 feet tall. And so we when we talk about these lost hidden technologies, the system, the matrix is promoting these lies of history of these people in the past being some primitive shepherds in a field when they were probably very scientifically advanced.
And you're excellent, brother. And there's the comparison, as you mentioned in the movie, right? These people think they're going in the past to the Archimedes, like in the medieval time, but they are going there for a technology which is like a time. They're coming in a freaking plane of the 70s, a motor of 70s, and they're coming for the technology which is gear technology and compact technology. So don't you think they would have had other amazing ways to fly other than what these people come? You see the difference of their bullshit, right?
Yeah, right. They would have teleported.
Yeah, the more I've been looking into this false history and this idea of the vanilla skies of all these old photographs that have been, the background in these old photographs have been completely wiped or washed. And
Yeah.
why? Because there was probably huge technologically advanced buildings everywhere. There was probably the huge blimps or the airships that were going everywhere across the earth. So yeah, I think this idea, the subject of hidden technologies, is probably far larger and greater than we can imagine.
Hey, the photographs started in, like, they say, the 1820s or something like that, and the first Photoshop was known to us, at least, was the patent was applied for in 1840s. It was a political movement using Lincoln in a false narrative. And you look at all those old pictures with the blanked out skies, and then you might maybe think of the old postcards that had the fake looking skies. All those old postcards were owned back then, um, by mostly one company was doing those lithograph postcards back then. So yeah, the narrative of photography has been very controlled since day one. As far as we know, it is day one. And I don't think we understand what day one in photography really was, because it's all false narrative, guys.
Exactly. Exactly. And other technology like hyperloop system and all these cave system that they are using might be of these old times.
Yeah, that's another part of the rabbit hole. The cave systems that are underneath every major city and probably connecting every major city. That you start looking at that stuff, and that's just mind blowing. I mean, it's unbelievable. And this idea of the DUMBs, the deep underground military bases. You really think our military built those in the 40s and 50s and dug miles deep into the earth? No, all that stuff was already there from the people before us who knew things that we don't know.
Or even just the subway in New York, they said that the Irish sandhogs dug it all out. Like, that I bought it as a kid. Like, oh, okay, that's what they did. But now you see that these places are really extensive, and they were beautiful, really, really nicely done. I don't think people from the 1800s were doing that. This seems so highly unlikely.
Yeah, some of them have that perfectly spherical brickwork all around the walls, or like a circular spirograph brickwork all underground in these tunnels.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
sure.
they're right, and they're not only just straightaways. You'll get several lines funneling into one, or just down to a few. It's very intricate, and very it's pretty elaborate. And you got places like Grand Central, and it stood for like 60 or 80 years, and they had to tear it down.
Oh yeah, and they also speak about places and temple that only opens through a particular sound or mantras, right?
Hmm. Yeah, sound technology.
Well, talking about that, I mean, the other fascinating subject is the bells, the huge bells. Okay, how did someone in the 1800s cast a bell,
Yeah, really.
3 times as tall as a man, and how did they move that after they cast it? And what
Yeah, how
happened?
did they tune
Well,
it?
how'd they get the
Yeah,
crucible, right? Yeah, the tuning to perfection. That's
yeah,
a good one.
it's insane to think that primitive Americans built that stuff.
Exactly, and even the organs in the church and how they used to work with the wind and with all the
The water.
mechanics they had for all these to work with the magnetism and the ether through these cathedrals and using those sounds for healing, and how these frequencies and all the windows and the colors and the shapes represented those frequencies, particular frequencies for a particular type of healings.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah,
think of the maintenance.
those buildings, the cathedrals, the basilicas. I mean, they have given me a more of a, I'll say, confidence, I guess, that the Catholic religion is bullshit, in my opinion. Excuse my French, but they want to take all these old cathedrals, all these basilicas, and say that Catholics built those places, 500 years ago. No, absolutely not. 100% wrong. And I'm supposed to trust, God the Father, Jesus the Son, and the Holy Spirit, as the Catholics teach, when they're the ones who took all this ancient world architecture and claim it as their own. No, there's something way, way off with the religious narrative of the Catholic Church and their architecture that they own literally everywhere across the surface of our earth.
It's a spirit. It's a spiritual center. It's a spiritual point, and if that's been hijacked, it's for a reason. So it had a function which was really supposed to be very positive for the human race. That place, that point, that technology, but aspect right now, control mechanism, because the speciality, the energy is there. Even if it's like totally dismantled out of its real function, when you go to these places, you are really like connected. You feel like you're like connected to the ether. That's why you feel like, that's why people come and they're like, because you have that energy there in these kind of structures, right?
Right, and I think in the location as well. The location is important, where you are on the plane.
Oh yeah, totally.
And depending upon what time of year it is and what time of month and day and where the planets are also could increase those properties of these places, the equinox and times of the year like that, solstices. And so how did these people know these things is pretty amazing. So you don't just go put these megalithic structures that last for thousands of years anywhere.
Oh yeah, and the water sources they have, these kind of places are supposed to be magical too, right?
Well, I think water could have been one of the original high-end technologies for us, because water has a memory. So if we're doing ritualistic, chimatic chanting, let's say under the moon, with in the right water, if the water's flowing right from and to the right places, it could have just worked out for all of us. They just created all this division with television and media and stuff, and now we can disagree on everything. So we do. I mean, we have the potential to.
Oh yeah, and these kind of places they have water bodies in or around these places too. It's for that reason,
Yeah, look
as
at
you
right.
say.
All the
Yeah.
star forts. I don't know if there are any star forts that are too far away from water sources. Like, I don't think you find star forts in, like Iowa or something like that. You'll find other structures, but I don't know about the star forts. I think they had a lot to do with the water, which is a current, and it it does circulate itself around.
And not just the star forts, but the entire star cities with
Right.
with the canal systems all through them, like Amsterdam or something. That's amazing. The canal networks through there that we're supposed to believe the horse and buggy people dug those canals and built that. I mean, it's hilarious.
It kind of is. They did this all before explosives too. They might have had black powder, but that doesn't equal dynamite.
Oh yeah, if we speak about those technology of explosive and arms and metallurgy.
Right? Yeah, more technology, chemistry, and elements being harnessed.
Oh yeah.
And who knows if they're even showing us all of the elements? There could be elements that we just need to be shown. I try to equate all these things to like school. It's the 12 or 15-year school system that we typically go through, and how the different ages offer different things that other ages don't have and don't want and don't understand yet. So that's what I feel like humanity is in different stages of a schooling of understanding. And I mean, I guess most of us just want to get to the top level, right, and do the best we can in school. So it's not the academic indoctrination school that they want to serve to us and keep us under their foot with, but the school of life and these things that we're talking about. A lot of fun, guys. Hey, thanks everyone in the chat for being here. Just want to say hi to everybody. It's good to see everybody.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And this is the thing, even in the genetic engineering or genetic manipulation, they must have gone so much far ahead.
Yo, you've said it. We've said it here once or twice. Speak of that even the human body is like an advanced technology. It really is the most wonderful, pretty amazing machine ever. The things that it does, you just think of any isolated part like vision. What would it take to create an eye with all those connections and information transfer and functionality is just mind blowing. And then you can go to something maybe more simple like how's your fingernail grow, and it's just as amazing. So yeah, we are like biological technologies.
And there would be hidden technologies like us, biological, right?
Why not? That what do they claim they discover all kinds of different bugs and birds and all kinds of stuff all the time. But it's good to listen to the narrative, but just be careful when you think you understand what they're trying to tell us. Like something like Lewis and Clark traveled across the country with such a small team, and they brought a biologist with them, and what do they call those guys? An etymologist for bugs, and captured and discovered countless bugs on the way. And I was like, first I was like, wow, that's really cool. Then more recently, I'm like, really? These guys are trying to find a river to get across the country that hasn't been explored, and they brought an entomologist with them. That's just, I don't know. That doesn't sound right. They had a lot of other problems besides what kind of bugs were around. You know what it took to make one of the wheels they needed for those wagons. So the narrative, just be careful with it. Would be my advice given. It's so twisted and backwards, upside down, and wrong.
In my opinion, anything that feeds back to the Big Bang, anything that comes from the Big Bang is it's just a made up nonsensical story. The globe, I say all the time, the globe is the baby of the Big Bang. The Big Bang is nonsense. It never happened. Therefore, the globe never happened. Dinosaurs never happened. Yeah, there might have been dragons. There were some big animals for sure. But dinosaurs, like the government indoctrination camps teach, no, nothing like that. There's so much stuff that we've been lied to about, and it seems to have all of its roots in this heliocentric lie that we've all been brainwashed with. And I tell people, just question it a little bit. Say, what if this isn't true? And just you'll see it start falling apart right in front of your eyes.
Oh yeah, and also the free energy in itself is another rabbit hole, right? With hidden technologies, because what other possibilities of magnet and magnetism and other ways of gaining energy? Because as we spoke, energy is the way to control. You cut off the energy, man, the people are gonna go haywire. For a few days, nothing is gonna work. And now in this age of technology, everything is energy and power. And
Yeah.
where have they been, or where are they in that aspect of free energy? There are kind of devices that people could just generate at the size of a box and could just generate maybe 2000 watts per house, you know.
Yeah, that's actually one of the reasons why I promote flat Earth so heavily. Is just I keep having this belief that someday somebody will hear one of us that has more smarts or intelligence than us on how electricity works and how energy works, and they'll figure out something else, or they'll re-engineer, or they'll refigure something out that we all knew 200 years ago that we lost or has been hidden from us now. And instead of paying, my electric bill where I live is insane. I pay almost $1,000 a month for electricity. Now, I live in a big house and there's got an apartment out back, but still $1,000 a month for power. When we know good and well that if we had the knowledge, if it wasn't hidden, there would be free energy for all of us. So I keep, that's why I threw that word electrical in there. When I talk about the Earth, I say it's an enclosed electrical topographical stationary plane. And if there's people who are listening and start to learn the truth of flat Earth, realizing how electricity and magnetism works hand in hand in this system, that my hope and prayer is that one day, maybe within my lifetime, maybe within my children's lifetime, that electricity or energy will be free again for everyone.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. The electricity is the energy is can save the humanity from many things, even from poverty and everything. Because energy, you have power to create. You could grow stuff even in Antarctica if you have power, right? Or in a desert, or in a even in a more remote places. If you have energy and power, you can create a whole ecosystem in there, right? If there's excess of power, and that's where they are controlling.
Exactly, because if you could create it too, you can hide stuff.
Well, maybe Elon Musk will figure it out for us and save us all. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
So,
because speaking of the electric sun, right? The sun charges the solar panels. For sure, they must have more advanced way of harvesting even the sunlight, and have devices much more.
Exactly.
This is just for the slave plantation technologies, right? The
Test
real ones
pattern.
are they have a breakaway civilization, and where they are taking advantage or living that, even living for a few hundred years with that advancement of genetics, with genes, and or even consuming food,
Right?
or communicating or moving, or yeah. Go ahead.
No, 100%. With the right vibration going on with your food and what you listen to. And we could probably not even have ever heard these sounds that are available. Like colors that we never saw.
hey, just make sure you paint your roof blue and you'll be okay.
Yeah, I think it could be a way of like targeting, the blue roof stuff. It's an easy way to spot people. Say let's do this, and everybody who paints it's easy target. Blue roof.
The litmus test. It's always a litmus test to see how much they can get away with and who's doing what.
Well, just give some money to Oprah and The Rock, and everybody in Hawaii will be better off. I mean, the stuff that we get promoted to us is so stupid. I mean, you really think Oprah, a billionaire, and The Rock worth multiple probably hundreds of millions of dollars now, are starting a fund. And Joe Rogan, and kind of which whatever you believe about Joe Rogan, I don't know. I think he tries to reveal a little bit of truth, even though we know he's a shill. When he backpedaled on the moon landings, but he came out and said, well, you set this fund for these Hawaiian people. You set it up for profit. Why'd you do that? They had no intention, and most people don't. Even religions, even churches, the 501c3s, they can take in as much as they can, and they only have to legally give away 10%. Okay.
That's the March of Dimes.
Yeah, it's not just March of Dimes. It's
No, that's how they got their name, because 10% is given away. The 90%.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, March of Dimes.
Yeah.
Yep. Imagine.
Okay, so they also speak about these dark ages where they have lost everything, all the information, all the
That's today.
Yeah, the Dark Ages, no electricity, but they built these amazing buildings everywhere in perfect alignment to the solstices and equinoxes. I mean, yeah, it's just the Dark Ages were probably the brightest ages of humanity, if the truth was known.
Yeah, right. I'd like to see some of the more recent ones. I'd really like to see some of the blueprints for these buildings, which may or may not exist, because they could have done them afterwards. But to think back 1,000 years ago, that they needed blueprints to do these things. I'm sorry, you don't just go up to stone and make buildings out of it without having directions. And what was everybody with free stonemason back then?
Oh, this stuff lasts for a long time. We really don't know the exact timeline of what
That's
how
true.
old are these, right?
Yeah,
Some of, as we said, was like laser cut perfection in mountains and rocks. Like, how long this could.
right, like Petra and Jordan. How did they do that? Or Pumapunku with the inside corners cut.
Machu Picchu or the.
Yeah, so many places. Hagia Sophia. What about that? What about that place in Istanbul, in Turkey? It's 1,400 years old. Survived like 7 different earthquakes.
Aliens. It has to be aliens. And now they have their world tour of these pseudoscientists going sitting on stage doing this ancient alien tour all across America right now. That's one of my favorite parts of the whole documentary. Is when she says, it's simply absurd. We're talking about the aliens creating all the ancient technology and giving the Antikythera mechanism technology to the ancients back in the day. It's simply absurd. It really is.
Right, giving it to outer space that doesn't even exist.
Oh yeah, that's why these people are there in place to exactly divert off from the real purpose of all this knowledge. And
Right, exactly, bro. That's why you mentioned Joe Rogan. He's got such a huge podcast. He had like one of the first big podcasts ever, right? And he's got who on there? How often? Neil deGrasse Tyson. It's like, really? What is he doing on that show? Because they need each other, Joe Rogan has the audience that Tyson really needs, and Joe Rogan can say whatever he wants, whatever they tell him, and obviously that's what he's going to do. So,
oh yeah, they are doing, as we mentioned, with this device and many other things, they are gatekeeping all this information with through these podcasts.
totally.
And the same thing goes with the Sumerian and connecting with the aliens.
Sure, because like you say, you can't just ignore it. That's too obvious. So you got to kind of say something, and they get the right
Fairy
combination.
tale. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. They get the right combination of people to tell you half a story, and it becomes fantasy in between that half a story, right? And they act like, oh wow, what's this? But it just kind of bugs me to see Tyson on Rogan's show, because you know the audience they got together, and they'll believe anything he says. Both of them. I think Joe Rogan's audience is probably has more discernment than Tyson's audience.
The earth spins within the bulge of water, and that creates the tides. I mean, come on. Come
Bro.
on. I mean, he creates some stuff.
Ooh.
He comes up with some stuff that anybody who has half a brain should just laugh at it and be like, "Oh my God, he's just mocking people."
That's the litmus test.
Yeah.
Because if they get people to cheer that stuff on, what else could then they can say just more and more and more, and now they're lost. They're just completely, hypnotized. Parker Space Probe, Ingenuity. Parker Space Probe flew through 1.8 million degree part of the sun. Ingenuity is a helicopter being flown remote control on Mars with 0.95 air pressure. Like, oh man, it's crazy.
Oh yeah.
And you still got fanboys tracking the Tesla in space and telling you where it's at nowadays.
Bro.
It's insane.
And what about the geoengineering? Where have they advanced to?
Yeah, right. They can't get guys to live in a bubble for 6 weeks.
So we know like more or less what they have, what they can. So what else they could have, what we don't know of, like apart from all the harp and all the blue beam and all the projection and a hologram and all that 10D and all this stuff is already apart from all that, right?
What is the name of that book that talks about the breakaway civilization? Do you guys know? I'm trying to remember it, and I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
And I think it goes back
Probably,
to like
yeah.
1930s or 40s when they say the Nazis took a breakaway civilization and went to Antarctica or whatever, and they've been creating all these advanced technologies there for, decades now, and now we only have a tiny portion of the technology that's actually available to humanity. But there's a book about that, and I've it's one that I've wanted to get and add to my library, but I don't remember the title.
Something called iron something? No, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
What
I think
is
it is
it?
iron something. Yeah, or something iron.
I'm not
I,
sure
I,
what.
I think a breakaway civilization happened a long time before the 40s or the 30s.
Oh yeah, I think that could get that could be very, very true.
And
Very
it's
possible.
absolutely, it's totally possible in the Antarctica that these people literally did take some of the technology and went away,
Right?
I mean,
because the whole Operation Paperclip, it's just too obvious to have that the Germans being imported to US, or maybe they were some imported to somewhere else, or they by themselves few fled and just left all those few common ones here to have some here, including von Braun, or
Yeah, really. Who knows exactly what all happened with those guys? There was so many of them. A couple thousand at least, supposedly.
and yeah, and Germans are freaking good at making machines.
Everything, yeah. They always have been known for that. I remember hearing something about, I think it was World War II, where they said, yeah, the German tanks could have handled 5 Americans. Any one German tank could have handled 5 American tanks. No problem. The problem is America had 6 tanks. They just had more. So the German technology has always been superior, but sooner or later, numbers will kill you anyway.
But also in industrial use, in robotics, in
Yeah.
motorization of things, they have machines for everything, and they export it to the major. Everything have to do with like advanced mechanics, because now it's all advanced here, right? From what we were to all the mechanics that advanced to now, to robotics, to everything that is with fabricating and industrial use, right? So they are literally really good in any field that is required of mechanization, right? So it's possible that some of the technology is just for them and is there for this, that they are totally a breakaway civilization, that maybe literally they're not too far, and that's why there's this control of, like, like, okay, the earth being a ball, nobody can go even as flat as they cannot go more than Antarctica or whatever. There could be various, not only the Germans, right?
Oh, I just found it. It's called the Iron Republic. I'm gonna have to buy that one. The Iron Republic. That's about the breakaway civilization beyond Antarctica.
Huh.
And David Weiss, not too long ago, and a few people were mentioning this new port that China and these other countries are putting. I don't know, hundreds of millions, maybe billions. I don't remember the financial number, but they're putting tons of money into building a port of trade out in the middle of ocean, in the middle of literally nowhere, that makes no sense unless they're trading with something or someone beyond Antarctica.
Where is it? Do you know?
Uh,
What
I'll
ocean?
have to ask Dave. I don't remember. There's a name. There's a name for the port. It escapes me at the moment, but I'll
Oh,
find
that's
out and
cool.
message it to you. But there's a port that's being built. By now it's probably already built, but
Wow.
the port makes zero sense for any other known country or continent to do any trading with. It only makes sense if they're doing trade beyond Antarctica. And then you have Eddie Alencar's channel, who did the video showing the homing beacons or whatever on those shipping containers that are
Right.
fought 400 yards past the ice in Antarctica. So something's going on that is obviously being hidden, or uh, some maybe technology that exists down there or out there. Yeah, even the guy who got me into flat Earth in 2017, he was a Navy pilot who flew missions in Antarctica for 5 years. Well, what are you going to do for 5 years flying a plane over a bunch of ice? I mean, he was obviously there doing something with the military or for the military for 5 years, flying around in Antarctica, flying missions, he said. So something's going on in Antarctica or beyond Antarctica that is obviously being hidden from the masses of this known world.
Well, there's an isolated kind of incident when Admiral Byrd talks about the size of land being as big as the United States over there, with all lush vegetation all over it that's ice free. So you don't hear too much about stuff like that, and it's usually old. 50 years old, 70 years old. So there's definitely more to what's going on down there. And Keith, you said there was 400 yards, or I thought I remember you saying it was 400 miles. Am I wrong?
Yeah, yeah. Did I say yards? I think I meant miles. It's one of the videos on Eddie's channel that talks about
Right,
ships. But no, I think they had a homing beacon from one of the container ships or something that was 400 miles past the ice wall in Antarctica.
right. I thought it was miles. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
400 miles.
that's a
That's crazy.
long
I mean,
way. Oh
that's a
yeah.
long way to be on the ice.
And is that seasonal, Keith?
I would imagine it would have to be. My wife is half Filipino. Her parents are full-blooded Filipino who fled the Philippines and went to Canada for family reasons. But the grandmother and grandfather in that family actually tell the story of going beyond the Antarctica ice wall, going to what they called the Forbidden Lands. Now, these are people
Wow.
that are, if they were still alive today, they'd only be 100 years old, 120 years old, maybe. But they tell stories to their Filipino family of going to the Forbidden Lands beyond Antarctica. And I
It's
think that the part of the story is that it was certain seasons or certain times of the year that the gates would open, or maybe some of the ice would melt when the sun is out
Right.
over the Tropic of Capricorn. I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting subject.
it's totally possible. It's totally possible that whatever they're telling us about Antarctica is all a show and made up.
Mhm.
Okay, it could be just an iceberg somewhere, and they're filming this. It's like really harsh climate and everything, so nobody's going there literally, right? Who knows? It's just a show, and it's like more land just continues. right? Because it doesn't make sense when the sun goes to the Tropic of Capricorn, and with Australia so hot and the ice ring really right there all the year, the geography and the climate doesn't work. And if you go with the Monte Urbano map, it literally shows as an ice ring but as lands.
That's
It doesn't
right.
show as an ice ring, right? So this could be like literally what they're showing us as Antarctica could be a part of Arctic, some part of Arctic, or some part of even Norway or Sweden or Finland, right? If they
Or
can freaking,
Greenland.
yeah, if they can show us Mars from Egypt, right?
It's true.
So the rabbit hole goes deeper.
And something to consider is the Antarctic Treaty and all the security to keep us out of there because it's so dangerous. Yet there's 200 bodies that'll never be removed off Mount Everest because it's not so dangerous up there. I don't understand that too much, but there's a big like a juxtaposition of what appears to be a plausible reality there because they don't care about us. Look, do they? No, they just don't want us down there.
Exactly. Nothing below
Right?
South Parallel, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's the 60th parallel south, right? And
Exactly.
people like, oh, what do they got? Guys in boats sitting there? Like, no, but they have buoys that you trigger, and it's as simple as that. Just like a stoplight that's activated by, it stays green on the highway on the bigger road until a car comes up to the red light on the smaller road and changes that light red. So it
Exactly.
can,
The radar systems that we have here, the highest technology, they have 20 times higher.
right? You just simply can't go there. You're not going to be able to get down there. I don't understand why
Exactly.
that's
They don't need to literally put people there, literally there, like 24/7, like with guns, like
exactly.
like 95% of the job is doing the globe. So no one is even is gonna wake up in this lifetime to think that the earth is not a globe and maybe want to explore beyond or think of what could be beyond, right?
Really. And you know what? Something else to consider is the area that they need to patrol is only off places like, maybe Australia, maybe Argentina. They don't have to keep the entire oceans guarded because the boats that we have access to can't get us far enough and back. So you're either going to take enough gas to get yourself stranded all the way out there, or right, you bring enough gas to get yourself a little further and then back. You still have to get back somehow.
Exactly. Relating to that, for example, air compression technology, they speak about the planes being using gas or no, there's I
Hmm.
am like, 50-50 about that, but there could
Right.
be possibilities of air compression technology, because if you're literally doing air compression technology, you don't need any fuel. You're literally like, you could just go on with whatever is your vehicle is, way of moving.
Yeah, I'm kind of like up in the air with the jet propulsion being a hoax. I don't know what to think about that. I know we had a show on it with Flat Earth Freeman, and he was explaining things. I'm just not clear enough on it though.
Yeah, I think there's something to that, though. I mean, there's no way they can use the amount of fuel that they.
Yeah.
There's no way the plane can physically hold that many gallons of jet fuel, like they say. So, and yeah,
6 pounds a
remember
gallon.
Brett saying in the Flatten the Curve documentary that it's a mixture of air to fuel ratio. Well, what is that ratio? Is it 99% air and 1% fuel? I mean, there's still the conspiracy around the Formula One race cars. I mean that there's guys that take pictures of these guys when they get into a crash, and there's literally no gasoline anywhere in the crash in these still pictures. Like, where's the fluid? I mean, there's pieces and debris flying everywhere, and you don't see any liquid anywhere. So it just makes me, I don't know either. I'm 50-50 on it as well, but there certainly seems to be something to the compressed air technology that we're not being told.
Yeah. And like you said, too, the amount, just
Oh yeah,
the sheer,
they might have
weight.
advanced. They might
What's
have
that, Viktor?
advanced in that too. That they might have advanced in that too, like that they already have, but it's not for us.
Like we talk about the hidden technologies and the combustion engine that we use today, and sometimes my kids play with this little plastic car that you blow up a balloon, put the balloon on the car, and the air from the balloon pushes the car pretty far and pretty fast. So if there is some air compression technology that they've hidden because they want to keep selling gasoline, the fossil fuels that are scarce, but it makes perfect sense that there could be, more than likely, I would lean towards there probably is some air compression technology that could power aircraft, that could power boats for ships, it could power automobiles. But yet again, it would be really cheap, or it would be almost free, and they don't want that. They want people a slave to the grindstone. They want people in debt. They want people a slave to this matrix.
Oh yeah, like as you say, and also free energy devices could help for these kind of vehicles too. That could be magnetic levitation technology. That could be how the bees levitate to the frequencies. There can literally be devices that doing that, right? And also for curing for us with those frequencies, devices or ways that is much more advanced than what we are known than the general ones, right?
They have small handheld devices that can fuse plastic with vibration now. Well, it could be old. I say now, because I just recently found out about it. But yeah, it's kind of like how they do seals on jars and stuff. It's like a vibration. Some of them are, and pretty interesting. It's just a little gadget. A lot of these more futuristic or fantastic ideas of things we're talking about. Like that balloon car being something more realistic, right? With compressed air is I think their way of kind of taunting us, though, showing that that's a really cool combination of a little toy car with a balloon. Yet there's a possibility they're using compressed air to fly jets. That's cool, but that's just how I kind of see things. They're always trying to put it in our faces, and the toys are a good way for them to do that. Because adults look right over toys, don't they? Right? It's for kids.
All right, you want to end the show on a really crazy conspiracy of hidden technology? Let's talk about clones. I mean, this stuff is coming out more and more if you start researching it. I'll give you guys, if you have, maybe you've seen it already. Have you seen any of those videos from the channel called Mind Unveiled about the Cabbage Patch Kids and the cloning of babies back in the 1800s?
I might have. I
Yes,
can't say for sure, but
Well, I mean, that's just something else. That's throw it on the table. I mean, let's talk about everything. I mean, how did these huge cities that could house millions of people that seemed to be vacant in the mid 1800s? How did they, and where did all these orphans come from, and these insane asylums and these huge orphanages that had thousands of kids, all the same size, all the same age? I mean, we talk about hidden technologies. There could very well be hidden technologies for cloning humans that's been happening for the last 150 years plus. We don't know. But those videos are really intriguing, really interesting. The guy's done some good research on Cabbage Patch Kids or Cabbage Patch Babies and all of these old advertisements showing babies for sale, and the orphan trains. I mean, it's stuff that we should be at least looking into and questioning when we see that we've been lied to about something as simple as the shape of the earth. What else have we been lied to about? How about repopulating the earth with babies that came from some technology that we don't even know about today? I mean,
Oh yeah.
incubator
Yeah,
babies in New York, that's a real thing. These incubators
yeah, they
that
had them in Coney Island.
yeah, yeah, it's I mean, it's crazy stuff, but I think it's something that's worth considering, it's worth looking into.
Imagine they are just human technology, like of a different kind, and it was created by these creeps, and these people are just walking around today and recording everything and embedded in society. Could be like from a breakaway society, these hidden characters in between us all, because they just don't want us to be happy. They working the way they have us working, being a slave to that grind they have, and none of it's necessary. But it's real important for them to keep us distracted.
Yeah, it's totally possible that is genetic manipulation also is involved, because there are some people who speak about there are two kind of race living together,
But
like in a way, the ones who are submissive to whatever, and the rest the vice versa, right? So speak about like a split
people who
already
ain't falling
happened.
for it. Yeah, right. It could have been introduced, right? Because I keep saying about that repopulation, and there's plenty of always kind of look at photos as a possibility, because photo manipulation's been around a really long time. But there are pictures that seem to have big cities all over the world that are empty in the early 1800s, or mid 18 to late 1800s. Places in Russia, the Vatican, all over the United States, Germany. A lot of places just seem to have huge, big metropolis kind of cities that were pretty empty. Like no, like, and it seemed to be taken from an aerial shot. A lot of these pictures covering a lot of ground with no people in them. So
And then they all burned down. They all had a great fire.
yeah, some of the fire stories are just out of control. It seems so staged at this point.
Well, you got these huge stone buildings being burned down by a fire from a lantern that a cow kicked over. I mean, it's just ludicrous. I mean, the pictures of the Chicago World's Fair in 1892, the pictures of the St. Louis World's Fair, and coming the more research is coming out on this. There were literal World's Fairs or exhibitions everywhere. I mean, there's more of them in America than I've even realized. I think I've learned of 4 or 5 more here in other cities that we'd never even heard of before. And they all had these same huge stone buildings with massive domes and massive pillars and perfectly like 3D printed sculptures everywhere. And we're told that all of those were built in a short time frame to only be used for temporary means and then torn down. Oh, but wait, we're going to save a couple of these buildings, and now 130 years later those buildings are still standing strong. I mean, the narrative is off, so question everything.
This could be just the remains of what is the leftovers of this breakaway civilization that is literally made themselves apart by the use of technology, that they were so advanced that this part of the world is literally like in a prison planet or prison earth, with literally technological barriers that cannot people literally cannot go out of these races, and they are living in those other beyond the barriers. And Atlantis or Shambhala or all these spiritual places, Hyperborea, or all these which is there in all ancient texts, could be these kind of places or breakaway civilizations that are much more evolved in every aspect, apart from technological, spiritual, or not all have to be this disaster of this part of the world. Not everything you have to be this. This can't be just the existence. There are these. There's a lot happening everywhere, right? We're just living this one here at its could be,
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to say goodnight and go play dad for a little while. But it's been good to be with you.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I'll say again that if flat Earth is anything, it's the ability to question everything. So I mean, don't count anything out. Keep digging. For those of you in the chat, and those of you who listen to the podcast on YouTube later, keep asking questions and keep looking deeper. Don't stop. There's more for all of us to learn, and if each of us can just keep finding little pieces of the puzzle, as time progresses, we'll have a better, clearer picture of the bigger picture. So good night, guys.
Oh yeah, absolutely, brother. This is yeah. This topic is never. How do you say? Quite vast. Like we could have gone in detail in every part of this technology, or So, and the best part is old, hidden, present, or futuristic. All are all for sure. It's only functional on a flat and stationary Earth, right? And what could exist, as we always say, we always touch the surfaces of all these things that what could be, right? All that we tried to discuss here tonight. So it's an awesome topic, awesome subject. For sure, we're gonna be continuing this too more ahead, like after processing of everything, right? What are the more possibilities? We are speaking about not few hundred years. It's like imagining how our race is gonna be in few hundred years from now. So we are speaking about all that is lost or hidden from us thousands of years. So what are the possibilities that could exist in every aspect of technology, right? So awesome show, guys. Also, we're gonna have last thoughts, Gene, brother, and we're gonna wrap up too.
Sure, bro. Yeah, it's fun to think about what could happen in the next couple hundred years with technology, especially if the right people get control of it and kind of weed out the knuckleheads that seem to have control of it now. So yeah, it'd be fun to be able to watch and see, though. History changes quick, right? One of the Wright brothers lived long enough to see World War I, I think, in fighter jets. So that's kind of interesting timeline right there. But I think they just trickle out all of these technologies to us, just like the phones, the airplanes, and what I want to mention before, we were talking about the dirigibles and the aerostats and the blimps and stuff like that. I think to go along with the gasoline narrative being forced, they also, people might think, oh, it's windy. What about sudden storms and this and that? I think that's all controlled also to a high level. Probably over 90% of the weather, maybe even is controlled. So that's another fear they put in to negate any process with something like that going on. But yeah, great subject. Yeah, bro, we could go on and on. Have one of these subjects every every week, every month or so, and never get lost in it. So always great to be here with everybody, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hope you enjoyed the show. It was definitely fun to hang out, talk about these things, and don't forget to check out RTS. And yeah, congratulations to you guys at RTS for all the good news. You were talking about the servers and everything. That's really great. Um, it's a great honor to be here with all you guys too, though. So yeah, check out the Mechanical Realm, everybody. Going to point out a lot of just different things about technology you might not have thought about, and nature, and we'll uncover all kinds of different points of the narrative throughout that whole video that will lead to other videos too. So yeah, and yeah, good luck with the sales, guys. You know what I'm thinking is if I was to get a cut in, I would probably donate my money right back to you guys just to keep this going, and I'd pull it in right back in, you know, or something like that. But yeah, I love the whole idea of it all, and looking forward to next week, everybody. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, brother.
Oh yeah, thanks, brother. Absolutely. RTS is doing a great job, and yes, do check out the Mechanical Realm and watch the documentary and support. And thanks to everyone who is supporting. And yeah, the mysteries of the hidden technology. This Earth is very ancient. There's so much we could even imagine there exist, and they could exist with this hidden technology in every aspect of our life that could help us to live in harmony, and not as a virus to the earth, like, you know, but a part of the ecosystem, like living in harmony in every way and protecting everything around. So in every way we have been like cut through all these advancements, which could, whatever they are giving us, we think we are very highly developed and technologically advanced, but this is nothing, you know. This has to be much more ahead. And out of all this technology, the anti-guitar mechanism is supposed to be one of the more important for us to know about and what it is. And as a luck that we had this came to us for our salvation, because this is the real salvation, this mechanism, because this is the real truth. So, and how many more of this and other stuff that could exist, right? And that also proves that Earth is geocentric and flat and stationary, right? Awesome topic, awesome subject.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah,
Gene. Yeah, go ahead.
I remember you talking about the 1,400 books written on machinery that were supposedly lost over 1,000 years ago. So there's just countless things we could be missing out on, and you know, it seems like we're being taught to act like we're the Jetsons, but really we're the Flintstones.
Exactly. Definitely we're going to continue this one for sure, because it's a very vast subject, you know. So
Yeah,
awesome,
cool.
brother. Yeah,
Same here. Yeah, great show, bro. Glad I was here.
awesome. Thanks, Gene. Thanks, Keith. Thanks, RTS Update. Thanks, Marcio, David, and thanks everyone in the chat for being here. Awesome. Make sure you guys check us out on the next episode of Heliopsychosis podcast. I'm going to play the trailer and the outro. So this is Vikka Draziv signing out, guys. See you soon next week. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Night, everybody.
There was a time where darkness was upon the earth, and the light was hidden, making the truth so hard to find. The Mechanical Realm documentary, directed by Vikka Draziv and Marcio David, will bring back the hope to all real truth seekers, searching the real truth about creation and our Creator. Truth is getting censored and deleted as dots in a book on fire. History was rewritten various times to hide the real truth about creation and about our Creator. But now, in a time of awakening, where all truth seekers are getting together and helping each other to find the real truth, the Mechanical Realm, for the first time in the scientific community, is presenting one flat Earth working model that was lost in time. Check now the Mechanical Realm documentary, only on themechanicalrealm.com. Don't forget to download our app on Play Store. Your voice matters.
Don't wait more time. Watch now the Mechanical Realm documentary. Download our app or visit our website at themechanicalrealm.com. Be the next to wake up for a totally new reality.
Houston, we have a problem.